welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hey, how you doing? My name is Ash. I am a makeup artist and a book lover, and today's video is all about a PR package that I received from none other than Urban Decay. Oh my god, I was so excited when I got this in the mail. I wasn't necessarily expecting it. I thought that they were skipping over me with sending this to me, but the fact that they sent it to me, so happy with that. So today's video is all about a first impressions of me trying out the new Face Bond foundation from Urban Decay. This is what the packaging looks like. I got this in the shade One for a Cool. I don't want to drag this intro out too long, so without further ado, let's just get into the first impressions of the Face Bond foundation. Let's not talk about my hair. Mistakes were made. I don't think that that is any better, but at least it's not all in my face. But I want to talk about this package that I got. I was gifted from Urban Decay their newest foundation. So it came with a few items, the main thing being the new Face Bond. This is their waterproof foundation up to 24-hour wear. I got it in the shade One for a Cool, which is their lightest shade. They sent over a full-size all-nighter setting spray, a sponge, and then two little cute hair clips. So I thought it'd be fun to do a full first impressions with this because why not? I have not tried this at all. I haven't even opened everything yet. I don't even have my sponge wet yet. But here is the packaging for it. It is a very sleek design. I honestly don't know too much about this foundation other than it's probably not the best for my dry skin, but here is what the box says. It is a self-setting foundation. It is water, sweat, and humidity proof, smudge and transfer resistant, and no powder is needed. We'll see to that. We'll see to that. It has 3% niacinamide, if I say that right. So the formula is clinically tested to improve skin texture feel after 4 weeks. And it is can't feel coverage. It is a lightweight, medium buildable coverage. So I'm interested to see the claim for that. I did get a little pamphlet with this, and this comes in 40 shades, so it's a pretty decent shade range. You can kind of see how light and how deep it gets. It says there's 3 ways to apply. For full coverage, they recommend using your fingers, which I hate the thought of that, so I'm not going to do that. Medium coverage is using your favorite foundation brush, and the lightest coverage is using the sponge provided. I am going to start with the sponge, and I may go in with a brush just to see how it can build up, but I'm going to try it with the sponge because that is my preferred method of applying any sort of foundation. And this is supposed to have a natural matte finish, which is not something I typically go for. So this is the sponge that Urban Decay sent me. This is dry. I'm gonna go wet this and then we can get started with applying the foundation because I'm so excited for that. So I know this isn't about the sponge, but the feel of this when it's wet feels so nice. I'm very excited for that. I'm not gonna prime or anything. I have just my skincare on from last night. I've been using a very hydrating moisturizer and serum, so my skin doesn't feel super dry, which it does lean on the more dry side, but it doesn't feel super dry today. I'm pretty happy with my skin texture at the moment, so let me see if I have to shake this. Shake well, yes. I am a stickler for looking to see if something needs to be shaken because when I had my wisdom teeth removed and I was in a lot of pain, my husband had to give me my medication, and at the time I couldn't swallow any pills, so I was taking liquids. And the first 3 doses he gave me, he did not read the instructions that you need to shake the medication, and I threw it up. That was my first time throwing up since college. And on the box it says that this little dropper here is a patent pending, no mess, no waste dropper. So interested to see that. So I am going to start, should zoom you in a bit, let's start on this side of my face. Let me grab a brush. I have a brush for potential application. So you know what? Why not? We'll do one side with the brush and one side with the sponge. So I'll start this side. Yeah, the side brush, the side sponge. So I'm gonna start with just start with 3 lines. Shade wise, I think that this is going to work very well for me, and this is just an LYS foundation brush. And let's see how it goes on. Now that, I feel like that blended out into pretty much nothing. I mean, it's possible that this is the wrong brush for something like this, but this side compared to this side, is my exposure too much? I can't really tell if my lighting is good or not. So I didn't even get to my forehead. It didn't stretch out that far. But honestly, it doesn't even really look like I put anything on my face. Maybe like my redness is a little bit lessened, but I don't know. So I'm gonna go maybe dots. Fine, I will go in with my finger. Ooh, I hate that. There is more coverage with the finger, so they're not, you know, BSing you with that. But I'll be honest, I don't know if I like this. Right off the bat, I don't know if I like this. I will have to play with it around and try it with like a primer or something. Nothing on my face, something on my face. I think it's like a little bit more even, but I don't know. So let me see how this looks like with the sponge. Let's go in with the sponge. Definitely soaking up some of the product, but that is expected with the sponge. I think just first impression, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Obviously, the lightest coverage, there is just a slight lessening in any redness on my face, but you can still see a lot of my freckles and pigmentation coming through. I do have a little bit of breakouts down here, but that is normal for me apparently. But if you look on this side, like I can kind of just almost see it on my skin. I feel like it looks a little funny. Like if I go over this with the sponge, it's like picking up. You can see like where it's like picked up. Don't want to hate this because I love Urban Decay. Do another layer, put more on. I'm gonna go back in with the brush and just see what happens on top of that. So typically if I do use a foundation brush, I like to go in with a sponge on top of it just to smooth out if there's any like brush strokes and just make it a little bit more seamless. Has a little bit more coverage. So I am almost thinking that you need like a primer down for this. It's kind of making me look a little ghostly, but I promise that it matches the rest of my body. Alright, now it's looking better. Coverage wise, not so much what it's doing on my face. Alright, let's see if this ruins anything. Yeah, the sponge is just lifting the product off, which, you know, can happen with sponges, but like I feel like it shouldn't this bad. Right, this is honestly not looking the greatest on my face. I don't even know what is going on around my upper lip, but it does not like that sponge. Let me see if I can get this to show up on camera. It looks pretty dry around my nose. It just picked up on some textures. It didn't overly emphasize my pores, but it doesn't look the greatest. And shockingly, the forehead looks actually pretty good, but like down here looks okay for the most part, but it's just like, I feel like it's picking up on places on my skin where I swear I didn't have any issues. But this claims to not need any setting powder that's transfer resistant. This is just a clean tissue. I didn't put any powder or anything down. And that's clean. Yeah, okay, so I can see, at least on here, that it's not transfer resistant, but you know what, I will ruin a part of my sleeve, because sometimes you can see it better on something dark. Nothing. Although maybe this was a bad hoodie to do it on, because it has like faded bleach stains on it. Okay, so first initial thoughts on this is I don't think I like it. Okay, it's not as easy to use as I thought it would be. I should know to always stay away from something that claims to be a soft matte anything. It just does not work for my skin. But I do want to try this with a hydrating primer to see if that makes a difference, and just seeing like what I can do to see if I can make this work for me. So right off the bat, I don't like it, but obviously I'll have to see how this wears through the rest of the day to see what I like and don't like. But I am gonna crack open the all-nighter setting spray just to see if that does anything or harms the makeup, because sometimes that is very telling. If setting spray disturbs just your foundation, then something ain't right. I haven't had an all-nighter setting spray in the longest time. Forget how much I love this. Alright, so I'm gonna go and finish the rest of my makeup. I am going to be doing an Ipsy video, so I'm gonna start filming that, and I'll be back when I'm done with everything on to give you like an update on what I think of palette makeup applied on it. But right now I will say the setting spray did make it feel a little bit better, look a little bit better, so I'm hopeful that maybe as I wear it, it will look better, because sometimes that happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go, and hopefully by the time I come back, my hair will be somewhat more manageable. Alright, so my makeup has been on for almost 3 hours at this point, and I have some thoughts on how it looks completely. So I did take a video on my phone. I did the front camera and back camera of what this foundation looks like. And I'll be honest, it does not look as bad as I thought it would. But that doesn't mean that it looks very great. The iPhone camera is like really bad for picking up on texture even if you don't have any. I unfortunately do have texture because I am human. But I do have a little bit of texture on my face, and it just really emphasizes the texture on my nose and a little bit on my cheek. I'm getting a little bit of settling in my lines here, and I did not set this. I put on my concealer and all I set was the concealer under my eyes, and that was it. And honestly, it set pretty well. I'm not mad at it. Usually I have to powder my face because I hate the feeling of foundation or anything I put on my face being sticky. This does not feel sticky at all, and I am pretty impressed with that. I do think that this is a little bit too drying for me, but again, I did not apply this with any moisturizer or primer, so I think when I go in to use this again, I will try this with a moisturizer and a hydrating primer just to see if that can help combat some of the issues that I've had. But you know, a plus on this is that it is buildable. You have different options on how to build it up, but I will say I don't think I like the sponge. I had trouble blending this out with this sponge. It kind of just soaked up a lot of the product, but I also went in with my concealer, which is my Fenty Beauty concealer, which I don't have any issues with, and this sponge, something funky happened with the concealer with it, and so I think it's something with the material of this. Like, it feels great, but it just did not work well for the products that I used. So that was a disappointment, but it's whatever. This is about this. So I guess like my first impression of this is I'm not that much impressed with it. Like, I'm ecstatic that Urban Decay sent this to me, but I don't think because of my skin type that I'm the right person for this, because I do lean more on the dry side. I do stay away from matte items, and this is a soft matte foundation, but like, it looks decent. I can probably make it work, but I kind of like things to be easy. I don't really like to have to finesse and finagle with things too much. But I love Urban Decay, and I'm willing to give this another shot. So I will definitely be trying this out again. I just don't know when, because I'm trying to rotate through my products. I will say for my cheek stuff, I did do a cream contour and a cream blush, and I had a little bit of issue with blending out the contour, but I had no issue blending out the blush. So I don't know if like the contour I used, if that just didn't mesh well with this, but I eventually got it to work, but like, it was a little bit harder for me to blend than typical. No issues with that. Everything else applied pretty seamlessly on top, but like I said off the bat, I'm not that impressed with it, but I am willing to try it again. It's definitely not an immediate hate for me. Very few times do I have just a product that I like immediately hate. Let me give you a zoom in. I am using my ring light, so no natural light in here. So here is a close-up of what my face looks like. Like, I don't think it looks bad. Like, it actually looks really nice on my viewfinder. I may have a different opinion when I pull this footage to edit it, but so far, like on camera, it looks good. Alright, so those are my thoughts on this. Let me know if you've tried this, what you think of it, or if you're curious about picking it up. I am very grateful that Urban Decay sent this to me, and I will be forever grateful for any brand that sends stuff to me. But I'm glad I was able to try this, even though it wasn't an instant win for me. But I will say that pairing the All-Nighter setting spray and this does help alleviate some of the matteness that makes me look a little bit more dry, so I appreciate that. I think that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want, you can follow me on my other socials. I'm artistryxashh everywhere. And if you want more book content, I am devouring bookishly on TikTok and Instagram. So don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day or night whenever you're seeing this, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.